Sam Carson sat alone in the cold metal room. He was 8 years old. His small hands gripped the edge of the too large chair as the huge ship hummed around him. 6 weeks ago, his parents had been alive. 6 weeks ago, they had all lived happily in the Martian colony. Now, they were gone forever, buried under tons of collapsed dome materials when the life support systems failed. Sam had been at school when the alarm sounded. The teachers had rushed all the children to the emergency shuttles. Only 3 shuttles made it out before the colony's main dome completely collapsed. Sam's shuttle drifted in space for 4 days before the Galactic Alliance vessel picked them up. Of the 87 children rescued, he was the only one without family members on another shuttle or waiting back on Earth. The door slid open with a soft hiss. A tall, blue-skinned woman with 4 eyes walked in. 2 of her eyes watched Sam while the other 2 checked something on her datapad. "Hello, Sam Carson. I am Admiral Nix," she said. Her voice was gentle despite her formal uniform and serious face. "How are you feeling today?" Sam shrugged. He hadn't spoken much since the rescue. "We will reach the Centauri station tomorrow." Admiral Nix continued. "The Alliance Council has been discussing your situation." "Am I going back to Earth?" Sam asked quietly. Admiral Nix sat down across from him. All 4 of her eyes focused on him now. "That is one option. However, Earth is quite far, and you have no family there who can take you immediately." Sam looked down at his shoes. They were still red with Martian dust. "There is another possibility," the Admiral said. "The Vostran Academy is nearby. It is a school where young beings from across the galaxy learn together." Sam looked up. "A space school?" "Yes, the finest in the Orion Arm. It prepares students for service in the Alliance." She paused. "It would only be temporary until proper arrangements can be made with Earth authorities." The next day, Sam found himself in a large chamber with walls made of some kind of shifting, pearly material. 5 important-looking aliens sat at a curved table, discussing his fate as if he wasn't there. A human child in Vostran Academy? "Ridiculous," said a tall being made of what looked like walking crystals. His voice sounded like wind chimes, but angry ones. "I am Dean Zorix, head of this institution, and I must protest. Humans have barely achieved basic space travel. The boy would be years behind our youngest cadets." "The Alliance Charter is clear," Admiral Nix replied calmly. "All sentient species deserve equal opportunities for education and advancement." A green alien with tentacles, where a human would have hair, leaned forward. "The human child lacks even basic psionic abilities. He would be crushed in physical training alone." "Then consider it a cultural experiment," suggested a human woman. "In Alliance formal wear. I am Ambassador Rhea, representing Earth. If the boy fails, Earth will understand its developmental needs better. If he succeeds, well, that would be educational for everyone, wouldn't it?" Dean Zorix's crystal body made a sound like breaking glass. Sam realized it was laughter. "Very well, 6 months. Not a day more. And when he fails, perhaps humans will accept our guidance more readily for the next century." Sam shifted in the air duct where he was hiding. After years of exploring the maintenance tunnels in the Mars colony with his friends, finding his way through the ship's ventilation system had been easy. Adults always talked more freely when they thought no kids were listening. His dad had taught him that. "Then it's settled," said Admiral Nix. "Sam Carson will be enrolled at Vostran Academy for a 6-month evaluation period." Sam carefully backed up through the duct until he reached a junction where he could turn around. As he crawled away, he made a promise to himself. He wouldn't fail. For his parents, for Earth, and for himself, he would show these aliens what humans could do. 3 days later, Sam stood in the middle of the Academy's Grand Assembly Hall. 500 students of different species stared at him. Some had too many eyes. Some had no eyes at all. Some floated in the air. Others had many. Legs or no legs. One group seemed to fade in and out of sight every few seconds. "This is Samuel Carson," announced a teacher made of twisting light. "He will join Clutch 7 for the basic curriculum." A wave of sounds, clicks, whistles, hums, and rumbles filled the hall. Sam realized they were laughing at him. "The oxygen breather won't survive the first physical assessment," said a large student with 4 arms and armor-like skin, speaking loudly enough for Sam to hear. "I heard humans can't even regrow limbs," said another student who looked like a talking snake. Sam kept his face calm, but his heart beat faster. He followed a floating ball of light that Professor Lyra the teacher made of twisting light had. Created to guide him to his room. His roommate was already there. To Sam's surprise, it was another human, a tall, skinny teenager with sandy hair and freckles. "Great, they're doubling up the humans now," the teenager said with a sigh. "I'm Ben Wright, exchange student, final year." "I'm Sam Carson." Ben looked at him with pity. "Look, kid, I survive here by staying invisible. Don't draw attention. Stick to the classroom stuff and stay out of the combat arena. Maybe you'll make it to the end of your sentence." "Is it really that bad?" Sam asked, setting his small bag of belongings on the empty bed. Ben shrugged. "The teachers are fair enough. Some of the students are okay. But others, they don't think humans belong here." That night, after Ben fell asleep, Sam pulled out the datapad Admiral Nix had given him. He began reading everything he could find about the Academy, its history, rules, training programs, and student records. By morning, his eyes were red from reading, but he had found something important. Nowhere did the rules say that innovation was against the rules. If he couldn't match the alien students in strength, speed, or mental powers, he would find another way. He would have to be smarter, more creative, more human. The next morning, instead of going to orientation with the other new students, Sam snuck away to the maintenance level. According to the school records, there was one more human at the Academy, an adult named Luis Garcia, who worked as chief engineer. If Sam was going to survive here, he would need help from someone who understood what humans could and couldn't do. As he walked down the quiet hallway toward the engineering section, Sam felt scared, but also excited. For the first time since losing his parents, he had a purpose. He would show the entire galaxy what one human child could do. Sam found the engineering section after walking through 3 long hallways. The door slid open to reveal a large room filled with strange machines. Tools floated in the air. Screens showed diagrams of the Academy's systems. In the middle of it all stood a man with dark hair and a thick mustache, waving his hands to control the floating tools. "Excuse me," Sam said. "Are you Chief Engineer Garcia?" The man turned around, surprised. His eyes widened when he saw Sam. "Well, I'll be." "Another human?" He walked over and knelt down to Sam's level. "Luis Garcia. And you must be the new kid everyone's talking about." "I'm Sam Carson, the Mars colony survivor." Garcia nodded sadly. "I heard about what happened." "I'm sorry, kid." Sam looked at his feet. "Thank you. So what brings you to engineering instead of orientation? You lost?" Sam shook his head. "No, sir. I came to ask for help." Garcia raised an eyebrow. "Help with what?" "I need to build something." Sam pulled out his datapad and showed Garcia the drawings he had made during the night. "These." Garcia looked at the crude sketches of mechanical supports and small devices. "What am I looking at here?" "I can't match the alien students in strength or special abilities," Sam explained. "But maybe with the right tools, I could level the playing field." Garcia's face grew serious. "Kid, These look like combat aids. That's against at least 6 Academy regulations. Actually, they're not. Sam pulled up the rulebook on his datapad. It says students may use species-appropriate supportive technology to ensure fair participation. Since humans evolved on a high-gravity world with no natural defenses, these count as supportive technology. Garcia stared at Sam for a long moment, then burst out laughing. Well, I'll be damned. You found a loophole. He studied the designs more carefully. But these won't be enough. You'll need more than mechanical advantage to compete with telepaths and energy manipulators. That's why I need your help, Sam said. You know more about Alliance technology than I do. Garcia rubbed his chin. It'll be tricky, and we'll have to be careful. He grinned suddenly. But it might just be fun to show these aliens what humans can do with a little ingenuity. For the next 4 weeks, Sam split his time between classes and secret meetings with Garcia. In classes, Sam found he was actually ahead in mathematics and spatial reasoning. Earth schools taught these subjects well. But in biology and physics, he struggled to understand alien concepts. The worst was Psychic Foundations class, where students learned to use their mental abilities. Sam sat quietly while others moved objects with their minds or sent thoughts to each other. The teacher, a floating cloud of purple gas named Professor Voom, was kind enough not to call on Sam during these exercises. After classes, Sam would sneak down to engineering, where Garcia was helping him build what they called the Human Adaptive Combat System, or HACS. It looked like a normal student uniform, but had hidden features. The micro-servos will increase your reaction speed, Garcia explained as they worked. And these sensors will help you predict opponent movements. It's not cheating. It's just using technology to match abilities others were born with. Meanwhile, Sam started to notice how the alien students treated Ben, the older human student. They mostly ignored him. Sometimes they played tricks on him, like changing the air mix in his room to make him sleepy or moving his things when he wasn't looking. Ben never fought back. He just kept his head down and counted the days until he could leave. You should do the same, Ben advised Sam one night. In their room. Don't make waves. Just get through your 6 months. But Sam couldn't accept that. My dad always said humans don't just survive. We thrive. We adapt. Ben shook his head. Your dad never met a Vostron crystal form who could bench press a shuttle. That crystal form was named Krell. He had 4 arms and armor-like skin. He was the biggest student in Clutch 7, and he didn't like Sam. At first, Krell just made comments when Sam walked by. But when Sam scored higher than Krell on a mathematics test, things got worse. Look at the little Earth rat, Krell said loudly in the dining hall. Good with numbers, but too weak to lift his own food tray. Sam ignored him and kept eating. This made Krell angry. He walked over to Sam's table and accidentally knocked Sam's tray to the floor. Oops, Krell said. His friends laughed. Sam looked up at the much larger alien student. That was my lunch. What are you going to do about it, human? Krell's forearms flexed, showing off his strength. Sam thought about the hack system, now nearly complete in Garcia's workshop. It wasn't ready yet. He would have to wait. Nothing today, Sam said calmly. But someday you might be surprised. Krell laughed and walked away. But some of the other students looked at Sam with new interest. No one had ever stood up to Krell before, even a little bit. After that, some students started to talk to Sam. A girl named Asha Kelly from Earth's lunar colonies began sitting with him at lunch. 2 alien students from his mathematics class asked if he would help them study. Slowly, Sam was making friends. Then came the day everyone had been dreading, the first combat class. Combat training was held in a special room that could change gravity and add obstacles. When Sam entered with the other students from Clutch 7, he saw the combat teacher for the first time. Instructor Drav was tall and insect-like, with a hard outer shell covered in battle scars. "Welcome to basic combat," Drav said in a clicking voice. "Here you will learn to defend yourselves using your natural abilities." All the students wore simple training clothes. Sam's looked the same, but hidden inside was the completed hack system. Garcia had finished it just in time. "Today's exercise is simple," Drav continued. "Survival circle. All of you will enter the training area. Last student standing advances to the next level." The training area was a large circle with a glowing boundary. As the students entered, Sam felt the gravity shift, becoming lighter than Earth, but heavier than Mars. He pressed a hidden button on his wrist, activating the hack system. Immediately, he could feel the difference. The micro-servos hummed quietly, ready to boost his movements. The sensors began feeding data to him through small vibrations against his skin. Krell noticed Sam entering the circle and smiled. "This will be quick," he said to his friends. Instructor Drav raised one clawed hand. "Begin." Krell charged directly at Sam, expecting an easy elimination. But the hack sensors had analyzed Krell's stance and predicted his move. Sam stepped aside at the last second, much faster than a normal human could react. Krell, surprised by the miss, stumbled forward. The other students stopped fighting and stared. Sam Carson, the human child, had just avoided Krell's attack. "Luck," growled Krell. Turning around for another charge, Sam smiled slightly. It wasn't luck. It was human ingenuity. And this was just the beginning. Krell charged at Sam again, all four arms ready to grab the small human. This time, Sam didn't just dodge. When Krell got close, Sam dropped low and spun, using one leg to sweep at Krell's lower limbs. The hack system boosted Sam's movement, making it faster and stronger than a normal 8-year-old could manage. Krell stumbled, but didn't fall. He turned with surprising speed for his size and grabbed at Sam. One hand caught Sam's arm. Krell smiled, showing teeth like small crystals. "Got you, human," he said, but Sam had been expecting this. The hex sensors had calculated a 78% chance that Krell would catch him on the second attempt. Sam pressed a hidden button on his belt. A small pulse of energy ran through his uniform, not enough to hurt Krell, but enough to surprise him. Krell's grip loosened for just a second. That was all Sam needed. He twisted free and backed away. The other students were now watching the fight instead of battling each other. No one had ever lasted this long against Krell in training. "What trickery is this?" Krell demanded, looking at his hand where he had felt the pulse. "No trickery," Sam replied calmly. "Just adaptive technology, completely within Academy rules." "Instructor." Drav watched with interest, his insect-like head tilted to one side. He made no move to stop the fight. Krell roared and rushed forward again. This time, Sam didn't try to avoid him. Instead, he stepped toward Krell and ducked under his arms. The HACS system guided Sam's movements as he pressed another hidden button. Small devices in his uniform stiffened, creating a hard shell just as Krell's arms wrapped around him. When Krell squeezed, he found he was gripping something as hard as his own armor. Sam pushed another button. The uniform released a burst of compressed air, pushing Krell's arms apart just enough for Sam to slip free. As he moved away, Sam touched Krell's chest with 2 fingers, the Academy combat sign for a killing blow. The training area went completely silent. Then Instructor Drav clicked his mandibles together, a sound of approval. "Interesting," Drav said. "The human uses technology to compensate for physical weakness. A valid strategy." Krell stood frozen in shock. A human child had just scored. Point against him in front of everyone. This isn't over, Krell hissed to Sam. The combat exercise continued. Sam didn't win the survival circle. That honor went to a floating, jellyfish-like student named Ziv, who could generate electric shocks. But Sam lasted until the final 10 students, far longer than anyone had expected. After class, students crowded around Sam, asking questions about his adaptive technology. Even some who had ignored him before now wanted to know how a human had managed to stand against Krell. It's just basic engineering, Sam explained, not wanting to reveal all his secrets. Humans have always used tools to solve problems. Ben caught up with Sam in the hallway later. The older human's eyes were wide with disbelief. Are you crazy? Ben whispered. You've made Krell look bad in front of everyone. He'll never forgive that. I didn't have a choice, Sam said. They all think humans are weak. I had to show them we're not. We're just different. Ben shook his head. Different gets you noticed. Noticed gets you hurt. Is that why you've spent years trying to be invisible? Sam asked. How has that worked for you? Ben had no answer. That night, Sam received a message on his datapad from Instructor Drav, asking to see his adaptive technology up close. With some worry, Sam went to Drav's office the next morning before classes. Drav's office was sparse and functional, with weapons displayed on the walls. The insect-like teacher studied Sam's uniform carefully after Sam showed him how it worked. Impressive, Drav said finally. You understand that some will call this cheating. The rules allow for species-appropriate supportive technology, Sam replied, quoting the Academy Handbook. Humans evolved on a high-gravity world with no natural armor or special abilities. This just helps level the playing field. Drav made a clicking sound that Sam had learned meant laughter. You sound like a diplomat already. He handed the uniform back to Sam. I will allow it. The best warriors use every advantage available to them. That is the first lesson of true combat. Sam let out a breath he didn't know he had been holding. Thank you, instructor. Do not thank me yet, human child. Krell and his friends will not be pleased. They will test you further. Drav was right. Over the next few weeks, Krell and his group made life difficult for Sam. They accidentally bumped into him in hallways. They switched the language settings on his datapad to alien scripts he couldn't read. Once they even reprogrammed the air mix in his room to have less oxygen, making Sam dizzy and sick until Ben figured out what was happening and fixed it. But for every problem, Sam found a solution. He started mapping alternate routes through the academy to avoid Krell. He learned how to reset his datapad quickly. He and Garcia installed an air quality monitor in his room that would alert him to any changes. More importantly, Sam kept improving. In his classes, his hack system got better with each combat lesson as he added new features. In academic classes, he worked twice as hard to catch up in subjects where he was behind. Soon, he was near the top of Clutch 7 in several subjects. Other students began to notice. Asha Kelly, the lunar colony girl, became a regular study partner. 2 alien students, Ziv, the floating jellyfish, and Nax, a 4-eyed being who could see in different spectrums, started sitting with Sam at meals. Even Ben began to show more interest in Sam's projects. Maybe you've got the right idea after all, Ben admitted one evening as he helped Sam adjust the hack system. I've spent 3 years just trying to get through each day without drawing. Attention. You've been here 2 months, and you're already changing things. I'm just trying to survive, Sam said. No, you're doing more than surviving, Ben replied. You're adapting, like humans always do. The next big test came when Clutch 7 started team exercises in combat class. Instructor Drav announced that students would form teams of 4-4, a series of challenges over the next month. Team leaders will be chosen based on individual performance so far, Drav explained. Krell, Ziv, Luma, and Asha will select team members. Sam was surprised to hear Aisha named as a team leader. The lunar colony girl was quiet and studious. He hadn't realized she was doing so well in combat class dot as expected. Krell didn't choose Sam for his team. Neither did Ziv or Luma. Sam stood with the remaining unpicked students, waiting for Asha to make her selections. Asha looked at the remaining students, then pointed at Sam. "I choose Sam Carson." Whispers spread through the class. Choosing the human child for a combat team seemed like a poor strategy. Krell laughed. "The Gravity Well girl picks the Earth runt. Your team is doomed, Asha." Pasha ignored him and completed her team with 2 more selections. After class, Sam approached her. "Why did you pick me?" he asked. "Everyone thinks I'll make your team weak." Asha smiled. "Because everyone is wrong. I've been watching you, Sam. You don't think like the others. You find different solutions. In team combat, that's worth more than raw strength." Sam felt a warmth in his chest he hadn't felt since losing his parents, the feeling of being valued for who he was, not pitied for what he lacked. "I won't let you down," he promised. "I know you won't," Asha replied. "Now, come on. We need to start planning if we're going to beat Krell's team next week." Asha's team met every day after classes to prepare for the Team Combat Challenge. They gathered in an unused study room where Sam had set up a small holographic projector he borrowed from Garcia. "The first challenge will be capture the flag," Sam explained, showing a 3D map of the training area. 4 teams, 4 flags, 1 winner. "Krell's team has the most physical strength," said Nax, the 4-eyed alien who could see in different light spectrums. "They'll try to overpower everyone." "Ziv's team has 2 telepaths," added Veng, a small tree-like being who could extend his branches at will. "They'll know our moves before we make them." "And Luma's team has the best flyers," said Asha. "Pale, attack from above." They all looked at each other. Their team seemed to have no advantages. Asha was strong for a human, but not compared to the aliens. Nax had good vision, but wasn't much of a fighter. Veng was flexible, but slow. And Sam was just a human child with some clever technology. "We need a different approach," Sam said finally. "Everyone expects us to lose, so no one will be watching. Use closely." "What are you thinking?" Asha asked. Sam smiled. "I'm thinking we use Earth military tactics from centuries ago. Tactics that aliens have never seen." For the next week, Sam taught his team about guerrilla warfare, false retreats, and coordinated ambushes. They practiced moving as a unit, using simple hand signals instead of speaking or telepathy. "Why hand signals?" Veng asked. "Won't that be slower than talking?" "Because the telepaths can hear our words, but they won't know what these mean," Sam explained, demonstrating a series of gestures. "And we'll use code names for each location on the field." When the day of the challenge arrived, all 4 teams gathered in the large combat arena. The room was now filled with obstacles walls, tunnels, towers, and a small artificial forest. In each corner was a glowing flag. "Teams will start in opposite corners," Instructor Drav announced. "The goal is simple. Capture the other team's flags while protecting your own. Last flag standing wins." Krell's team looked confident, flexing their various limbs and showing off their natural weapons. Ziv's team stood in a circle, eyes closed, clearly communicating telepathically. Luma's team spread their wings, ready to take to the air. Aisha's team huddled together, reviewing their plan one last time. "Remember," Sam whispered, "we're not trying to win the fight. We're trying to win the game." Instructor Drav raised one clawed hand. "Begin." The other teams rushed forward immediately. Krell's team charged directly toward Ziv's flag. Luma's flyers soared upward for a better view. But Asha's team did something unexpected. They split up, each running in a different direction. Staying low and using the obstacles for cover. Sam had modified his hack system for this challenge. Now it included a small device that could create a holographic duplicate of himself, not perfect, but good enough to fool someone from a distance. He activated it as he ducked behind a wall, sending the hologram running in plain sight toward Krell's flag. As expected, one of Krell's team members spotted the hologram and gave chase. The real Sam slipped away in another direction. Meanwhile, Asha was creating a distraction near Luma's flag, drawing the attention of the flying team. Nax was using his special vision to track the locations of all opponents, sending updates to Sam's datapad. Veng had stretched his branch-like limbs to hide their flag in a spot no one would think to look. 20 minutes into the game, Krell's team had captured Ziv's flag, but lost their own to Luma's flyers. Luma's team still had their flag, but was under heavy attack from Ziv's telepaths. Everyone was so focused on these battles that no one noticed. Asha's team had barely engaged at all. Sam crept through the artificial forest, approaching Luma's flag from behind while they were distracted defending against Ziv. Using his hologram as a decoy again, he waited until all eyes were on the false Sam before darting out to grab the real flag. At the same moment, on the other side of the arena, Asha made her move against Krell's captured flag. Using smoke pellets that Garcia had helped them make. By the time the other teams realized what was happening, Asha's team had stolen 2 flags and hidden their own. The only flag still in its original position belonged to Ziv's team, and they were now defending it against both Krell and Luma. Fox has the chicken. Eagle has the rabbit. Home nest is secure, Sam said into his communicator, using the code words they had created. Everyone converge on Point Delta, Asha replied. The 4 members of Asha's team met behind a tall barrier, now in possession of 3 of the 4 flags. One more to go, Asha said, smiling at Sam. Your plan is working perfectly. Now, for the final phase, Sam said. Nax, what's the situation with the last flag? Nax's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. Heavy defenses. All 3 remaining teams are fighting over it. Sam nodded. Just as we expected. Time for the big distraction. Veng extended his branches, creating a frame over which Sam draped a camouflage sheet. Inside this hidden space, they quickly built what looked like a flag from parts Sam had smuggled into the arena. It glowed with the same color as a real flag, but wouldn't register as genuine when captured. Ready? Sam asked. The others nodded. Asha, you take the fake flag and run toward the fighting. Make sure they all see you. Veng and I will go for the real flag while they chase you. Nax, keep us updated on everyone's positions. Esha took a deep breath and grabbed the fake flag. Here goes nothing. She burst from their hiding place, running with the glowing object held high. The lunar girl has a flag, someone shouted. Immediately, several opponents broke away from the battle and gave chase. Sam and Veng moved in the opposite direction, circling around toward Ziv's flag. Using the hack system to boost his speed and Vin's stretching ability to reach high places, they navigated through the obstacles unseen. They reached the area where Ziv's flag stood. Only 2 defenders remained. The rest had joined the chase after Asha. Ready? Sam whispered. Veng nodded. Extending one branch-like arm. Sam activated a new feature of the hack system, a short-range sound projector. He pointed it away from their position and triggered a loud crash. The 2 defenders turned toward the noise. In that moment, Vin's extended limbs snaked out, wrapped around the flagpole, and pulled it back to their hiding spot. We got it, Sam whispered into his communicator. Asha, disengage now. Across the arena, Asha suddenly dropped the fake flag and dove into a tunnel. Her pursuers stopped in confusion when the flag didn't register as captured. What trickery is this? Krell roared, picking up the fake flag. Instructor Drav's voice boomed throughout the arena. Challenge complete. Winning team. Asha Kelly's squad with all 4 flags captured. The arena fell silent. Then Zeev's telepathic voice touched everyone's mind. How is that possible? We were watching all the flags. The obstacles disappeared, returning the arena to an open space. In the center stood Asha's team, holding all 4 glowing flags. Impossible. Krell stomped forward. They cheated. No, Instructor Drav said firmly. They strategized. While you fought each other directly, they focused on the objective. The insect-like teacher turned to Sam. These tactics, they are not taught at the academy. They're old Earth military strategies, Sam explained. Misdirection, deception, achieving objectives without direct confrontation when possible. Drav made the clicking sound of approval. Perhaps there is more for us to learn from humans than we realized. Krell glared at Sam, but said nothing more. The other students gathered around Asha's team, asking questions about their strategy. For the first time since arriving at the academy, Sam felt truly accepted. Not just tolerated, but respected for what he could contribute. He looked at his teammates, Asha smiling proudly, Nax blinking his 4 eyes in excitement, Veng extending his branches in a victory stretch, and felt like he had found a new family dot. Later that day, Dean Zorix summoned Sam to his office. The crystal being sat behind a desk, his sharp edges gleaming in the light. Mr. Carson, Dean Zorix said, his wind chime voice serious. It seems you are causing quite a stir at my academy. Sam stood straight, trying not to show his nervousness. I'm just trying my best, sir. Indeed. Dean Zorix's crystal body shifted slightly. When I agreed to admit you, I expected you to fail. Yet here you are, excelling in combat class of all things. I had help, Sam said honestly. From Chief Garcia, from my teammates, from Instructor Drav. Yes, but the ideas, the strategies, those were yours. Dean Zorix leaned forward. I am beginning to wonder if we have underestimated humans all along. Sam wasn't sure how to respond. To that, you have 3 more months of your trial period, the dean continued. I will be watching your progress with great interest. As Sam left the office, he couldn't help but smile. He was only halfway through his 6 months at the academy. But he had already changed minds. Not just about himself, but about what humans could do. 3 more months passed quickly. Sam's team won 2 more combat challenges. His hack system got better with each upgrade. Other students began coming to him for help with strategy and problem solving. Even Ben, the older human student, seemed to stand taller now, no longer trying to be invisible. One evening, Sam sat with Esha, Nax, and Veng in the Academy's observation dome. Through the clear ceiling, they could see stars and distant galaxies. Hard to believe you've been here almost. 6 months, Asha said. Sam nodded. My trial period is almost over. What happens then? Veng asked, his branch-like arms swaying gently. Will you stay at the academy? Sam looked up at the stars. I don't know. The agreement was just for 6 months. After that, I'm supposed to go to Earth. But you belong here now, Nax said, all 4 eyes blinking in distress. You're part of our team. Before Sam could answer, alarms began to sound throughout the academy. Red lights flashed. A computerized voice spoke over the speakers. Alert! Unidentified vessels approaching. All students report to secure areas. This is not a drill. Alert! The 4 friends looked at each other in shock. The academy had drills before, but never a real emergency. We need to get to the shelter, Aisha said, standing up. They rushed from the observation dome, joining streams of students in the hallways. Instructors directed everyone toward the lower levels where the shelters were located. As they hurried along, Sam spotted Ben running in the opposite direction. "Ben," Sam called. "Where are you going?" "The shelters are this way." Ben stopped. "Garcia called me. He needs help in engineering. The shields are failing." Sam hesitated only a moment. "I'm coming with you." "Sam, no." Asha grabbed his arm. "It's too dangerous." "Garcia helped me when I first got here," Sam said firmly. "I can't leave him alone now. You three get to the shelter." Asha shook her head. "We're a team, remember? We stick together." "Nax." And Veng nodded in agreement. The five of them ran against the flow of students, heading for the engineering section. When they arrived, they found Garcia working frantically at a control panel. Screens showed 3 ships approaching the academy. "Draconian raiders," Garcia explained when he saw them. "Pirates. They attack schools and research stations, looking for technology to steal." "What can we do?" Sam asked. "The main shield generator is damaged," Garcia said. "We need to reroute power through the backup systems, but I can't do it alone." "Tell us what to do," Ben said. Garcia quickly assigned tasks. Ben and Asha would help him with the main controls. Nax would use his special vision to check for damage in areas too dangerous for humans. Veng would use his stretching abilities to reach difficult spots in the machinery. "What about me?" Sam asked. Garcia looked at him thoughtfully. "Your hack system, how good is it now?" "The best it's ever been," Sam replied. "Why?" "Because we need someone to get to the auxiliary control room on the other side of the academy. The main corridors are locked down, but someone small could get through the maintenance ducts." Sam nodded. "I can do it." Garcia handed him a data chip. "This needs to be inserted into the main console there. It will activate the secondary shield array." "Is it dangerous?" Asha asked, looking worried. "The raiders haven't boarded yet," Garcia said, "but they will soon. The security drones will protect the main areas, but the maintenance ducts aren't covered." Sam took the chip. "I've been crawling through ducts since I was little on Mars. I can do this." He left engineering and found the nearest maintenance access panel. The ducts were narrow, perfect for his small size. As he crawled through, he could hear alarms and announcements echoing through the academy. At one junction, Sam heard voices below voices, speaking a harsh language he didn't recognize. He froze, barely breathing. Through a small vent, he could see 2 figures in black armor moving through a hallway. The raiders had boarded. Sam continued more carefully now, using his hack system sensors to detect movement ahead. Twice he had to stop and wait as raiders passed below. Finally, he reached the auxiliary control room. He pushed open the access panel and dropped silently to the floor. The room was dark, emergency lights casting red shadows. Sam approached the main console and was about to insert the data chip when the door slid open. A tall figure in black armor stepped in, holding a weapon. "Well, what do we have here?" the raider said in accented common speech. "A little human, all alone." Sam backed up against the console. "You shouldn't be here. The Alliance fleet is on its way," the raider laughed. "The fleet is hours away. By then, we'll be gone with everything valuable from this place." He raised his weapon. "Including you. Human children fetch a good price in certain markets." Sam's mind raced. The raider was blocking the door. The maintenance duct was too high to reach quickly. He had no weapon, but he had his hack system. As the raider stepped forward, Sam activated the system's full power. All the servos, all the sensors, everything at once. The uniform hummed with energy. "What is that noise?" the raider asked, hesitating. Sam didn't answer. Instead, he pressed the button that Garcia had added just last week, the one they hadn't tested yet. A bright flash filled the room, as the hack system released an electromagnetic pulse. The raider's armor sparked and went dark. He stumbled, suddenly unable to move properly. "My systems," he growled. "What did you do?" Sam darted past the immobilized raider and inserted the data chip into the console. The screens came to life, showing the shield configurations. "Activating secondary shields," an automated voice announced. Sam turned back to the raider, who was struggling to reset his armor. "I think you should leave now. When those shields come up, your ships won't be able to extract you." The raider looked at the small human boy standing confidently before him. "Who are you?" "Sam Carson. Cadet at Vostron Academy. Human." Alarms sounded again, but different this time. "Alert. Secondary shields activated. Alliance vessels detected approaching. All security drones converge on intruder locations." The raider backed toward the door. "This isn't over, human child." "For today, it is," Sam replied. After the raider fled, Sam used the console to contact engineering. "Garcia, the shields are up." "Good work, kid." Garcia's voice came through, sounding relieved. "Stay where you are. Security is cleaning up the raiders now." An hour later, when the academy was secure again, Sam was called to the command center. There he found Dean Zorix, Admiral Nix, Instructor Drav, and all his friends waiting. "Sam Carson," Dean Zorix said formally, his crystal body gleaming with official ceremonial colors. "Your actions today helped save the Academy from serious damage." Admiral Nix stepped forward. "Not just the Academy, but potentially many lives as well. The raiders were after more than technology. They wanted hostages." Sam looked down modestly. "I just did what needed to be done." "That," said Instructor Drav, "is the mark of a true leader." Dean Zorix's crystal form shifted, creating the pattern that Sam had learned meant serious official business. "Samuel Carson, your 6-month trial period at Vostron Academy is now complete." Sam's heart sank. Despite everything, they were still going to send him away. "The terms of our agreement stated that after 6 months you would return to Earth," Dean Zorix continued. "However, in light of recent events, I am offering you a choice." Sam looked up in surprise. "You may return to Earth as planned, or you may accept a full position as a cadet at Vostron Academy." The room went quiet. "Furthermore," Dean Zorix added, "based on Instructor Drav's recommendation, you are being offered the position of Combat Class Leader for Clutch 7. Sam couldn't believe what he was hearing. "Combat Class Leader? But I'm just a human?" Admiral Nix finished for him. "Yes, and perhaps that is exactly what the Academy needs. A reminder that different does not mean less." Sam looked at his friend Zasha smiling proudly, Ben standing tall, Nax blinking all 4 eyes in excitement, Veng extending his branches in joy, and knew his answer. "I accept," he said. "This is my home now." As his friends gathered around him, Sam thought about how far he had come. 6 months ago, he had been enrolled as a joke. Now, he was exactly where he belonged.